Hello, everyone. Welcome to Get in the Garage.
We're a music podcast.
For music lovers, I'm Mike, your host, here with
I'm Luke. Are we recording?
We are recording.
That's great.
We're hot. We're live. We don't have Jeff, though.
No Jeff.
Bummer summer.
Jeff.
Sans Jeff. Yes, thank you. He had some last-minute things come up, so it'll be just the two of us.
Just two of us?
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
You know, I had to work today, guys.
Yeah.
And I got home, and there was a package on my step. I want to tell Mike a little story here.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Your Mom's House podcast, and I love the co-host Christina P. She posts these great Instagram stories every day that are kind of like the most depraved people on TikTok, and she puts them on her Instagram. This other guy, she started posting Patrick Howe on Instagram. That's just Patrick Howe, one all the way through.
Yep.
If you want to give that a follow. And he also posts some like World Star hip hop style TikToks and things to his stories, and they're really great. So I gave him a follow. And he messaged me on Instagram and told me he produced beats and he has a record out. And I bought his record and I wanted to share it with everybody here because he sent me and I'm telling you, it's like one of the best packages I've ever gotten in the mail. So follow. I want to first shout out again Patrick Howe on Instagram, and on Bandcamp.
Yeah, we'll find his tag too. I'll put it in.
Yeah,
if I can.
On Bandcamp, his artist name is Readhead. It's Redhead. So check that out, and I want to show you guys what I got here. So I got this great 10-inch record, Readhead 2015 Coke Flow, and then Dark Blue on the B side. It's awesome. It's a great, great produced beats. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, you were playing someone I got here. It's some cool like lo-fi.
Yeah, it's
kind
like
of beats. It's it's good.
It's
really
great.
Really good.
I really enjoy it. Any fan of hip hop, like check this out. He does great production, great beats. I love it. And here's the rest of this awesome box, guys. Let's bring it up on the table. Let's
bring it up. Let's bring it up.
Take that record out of there. All right, so first of all, I got some Supreme chapstick, guys.
Cherry flavored too?
Cherry flavored.
Nice.
Dope. We got the wrap here. We got the raw papers.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. We got a cassette of the release. Amazing. These awesome glasses that kind of turn everything trippy when you look at the lights.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. I'm not gonna lie.
It's pretty great. These glasses are probably,
they hurt my eyes earlier.
These are the biggest thrill you could probably ever get.
Yeah.
I love these.
Killer.
So those are cool. I got this awesome Britney Spears sticker of her stabbing the SUV.
With the umbrella,
great.
right?
Right. It's I got
a bunch of cool stickers.
Some handmade stuff here.
Yeah.
And then I also got this nice little it's got a pin on it. It's got a little thing in here.
Woo.
Readhead, you see that right on there. And then we got a blacked out cassette, which is super dope. I haven't played this one yet. And it's all blacked out. It's really cool. Check that out. You can't even see the tape on the inside.
Yeah, huh?
It's
yeah, even
dope.
up against the light.
Yeah, you can't see anything. It's really cool. You can't tell
Nice.
it's rewound. You can't tell what's the A and the B side. Some very cool stuff there. And then we also got the Readhead release on obviously the Readhead release, but what am I saying? It's the blue release on the blue cassette.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool stuff. Like the attention to detail in this box is awesome.
Yeah, people take notes. This is what when you're ordering a record from an independent artist or something like that, this is
the nicest box I've ever received. Look at this.
Killer.
If you order anything from my boy Readhead, he will send you the dopest shit. Look at this. I got this cool pin. It's got the Marlboro logo on it. I love it. All this stuff in here is super cool. I got
all that play on
man
on stuff with the Marlboro and the.
It even has
there was another one, wasn't there? That was Newports. This is this a sticker?
Yeah, it's this. It's the stamp on a Newport.
Yeah.
It's sticker. It's dope. It's really cool stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So yeah, check out Readhead on Bandcamp. I believe that's where his stuff is. If you want to get it, produces beats. And it's Patrick Howe on Instagram. Check it out. Dude sent me some awesome stuff, and the releases, the music is it's really, really good. It's great hip hop. It's all great underground stuff that should be huge and giant, or at least it's stuff I haven't heard of. I love the whole release. It's got different rappers or different MCs on everything. I really, really liked it. It's really, really cool. Check that out, man. Readhead.
Yeah, check it out.
And thank
you. Thank
you for the awesome package, man. And thank you for reaching out to me.
Wasn't it a friend
really cool.
of Readhead though that also?
Well, he told me to check out his other boy there, which I'm gonna get his name up here in a minute. And he was like, check my boy out, and I was like, oh yeah, man. And it was just really cool to connect with people.
Yeah.
Brain Orchestra is his boy, so check out Brain Orchestra. He's also got a bunch of releases and vinyl out, and I listened to some of that stuff as well, and I was super into that too. It's just awesome stuff.
Cool.
Hip hop out of New Jersey, hip hop rap New Jersey. Check it out, Readhead. Love it.
Love it. Nice. Cool. All right.
Well, Michael.
Yes.
It's about time to kick off that intro.
Okay, let's kick off the intro. Yes.
We can hear Michael giggle and laugh at the end.
at the yeah. All right, let's get it.
Grab your liquid death.
Yeah, baby. You gotta love it. Ha ha ha!
It's pretty great.
It's the cackle. Right on. So,
welcome to Get in the
welcome
Garage.
to Get in the Garage.
And happy birthday to
Paul McCartney. Yeah, man. I'm a Beatle man. Pew pew pew.
I like it.
Right? It's not bad. It's not bad. I've
been
been working on my Paul McCartney.
Do you know how old Paul McCartney is going to be?
I believe the Liverpoolian is hitting his 80th decade around the sun.
That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty crazy. Well accomplished, still doing his thing.
Yeah, Paul McCartney's 80, still releasing records.
Yeah, man. But I mean, he's doing his thing. What did we watch recently?
One day we're gonna have to review probably a modern Paul McCartney record. Are you ready?
I feel like I'm ready.
Are you ready for the day? Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, because we've been keeping up on the record reviews, we've been really getting into it, and I'm getting hard on the modern music. This show is really gonna be like three older guys trying to get you into modern music, but it's going to be interesting because I don't think I've been that big of a fan of a Paul McCartney release in a while. So it's going to be interesting is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that my experience with listening to Paul McCartney is that of I listen to Ram, I listen to the first album. That's pretty much the extent of it. Yeah. I haven't really but I can't give an honest thoughts about later catalog Paul McCartney stuff, only on the basis that I haven't listened to it. But I would imagine
I like the Standards album quite a bit.
Yeah,
it was pretty good. I like that one. Okay. Memory Almost Full, I think, is got a couch on the cover. I did like that record quite a bit. It was kind of more Beatlesy, that's why. But it'll be some interesting times.
Yeah, I'm a Ram guy probably. If I have to pick a favorite one.
Me too.
Yeah,
all day long.
It's just so good.
It's my favorite Paul McCartney record.
Yeah,
because it's just it's also one of my favorite summer records too. So.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, because I do tend to play that one in the.
I love it. A hot day. It's super psychedelic and it's summery. Got a lot of. Oh, Monkberry Moon Delight.
Come on, man.
Everybody that hasn't heard the song Monkberry Moon Delight,
listen to it. Do yourself the favor.
It's one of my favorite songs. Everybody I've showed that song to, I'm like, you gotta listen to the song. And then after I play it for them, they're like, probably a month later, they're like, that song is so great.
Yeah,
it's so great.
It is. It's a killer.
It's
a
pure
killer.
Paul McCartney. But
yes. So anyway, happy birthday to Paul McCartney.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on. Speaking of moldy oldies, we're gonna go back in time and we're gonna celebrate a 50-year anniversary today.
I'm really excited to talk about this.
As am I.
Because for being the classic rock guys that we are, I've never been a Bowie guy.
Yeah, I can't say. I'll tell you my experience with David Bowie. Aside from, the hits, right? Most of it, my opinions of him came after watching. I had a David Gilmour live at the Royal Albert Hall DVD. And one of the special guests they had was David Bowie. They had David Crosby and Graham Nash at one point. Or not Graham Nash, Graham Nash.
Yeah, I was like, it's probably Graham Nash.
It's Graham Nash. But David Bowie came out and he sang a version of Comfortably Numb with David Gilmour, and I just could not be less entertain. It was just bad. It was just like really bad.
You didn't enjoy it.
I didn't enjoy it, but I think it wasn't necessarily that I didn't enjoy it. It's just I didn't understand David Bowie.
Yes.
And I think this record put everything right into place for me.
Because you had never really experienced it.
Not really. Like I had heard parts of it. Like of course I bought the record at some point. This is Luke's copy, by the way.
Nope.
But
false. This is Chelsea's copy.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
My copy is so beat.
Yeah.
It does not look good.
And that's the thing. We have a copy of it. We have a couple. And Jade, my wife, bless her, was always preaching the gospel of David Bowie, and I was always like, yeah, I guess I have to
Same with
get around to it. And then I will say, like, last night was the first time that like I really listened to this record, like really intently listened to this album, and it exceeded my expectations.
It's my favorite Bowie record. I think it's really, really great. I think it's the entrance point everybody should have. On the other note of it too, why I think our experiences with Bowie is like weird is as Americans, like did Bowie broke in like the later part of the 70s, not the earlier part of the 70s. Like this was the rise up. Like it was big, but like we weren't like glam. You know what I mean? Like Bowie is cool, but like Fame is a #1 hit. Like Starman's big, it's a big, but you know what I mean? It's not
I know
like
what you're saying though.
I feel like it just didn't have like the impact. And then like by the time you get to the 80s, it's like China Girl, Let's Dance,
Yeah, right.
Labyrinth. It's like big, giant, huge movies. And then like Fame is after this, and that's his first #1. I think I just said that, but it's you know what I mean? So I feel like we get a little bit of too where like we think David Bowie is more of an 80s artist sometimes.
I for sure make that association.
Right.
Yeah,
so
100%. And maybe that's why we stayed clear, because I'm not a big 80s guy.
And then even
so, like,
even to like Fame is a funk tune. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is like another, and then you know some of his other stuff. But this is what I would say his most rockin' album. Maybe his most focused album altogether.
I mean, in my opinion, it's like, okay, sure, it's glam, but to me, this is a prog rock album as far as I'm concerned, man. This is a prog rock album because there's ebbs and flows and highs and lows. There's orchestrations. There's
like a loose story.
It's got this concept album idea that he's this sort of space alien, you know, kind of thing. It constructs the character of Ziggy Stardust. You know what I mean? It's the introduction of this sort of alter ego, Ziggy Stardust. So I think it's such a well flushed out idea. Like the whole concept of it is just
it's so easy to buy into. Right. Because like it's a character. It's great. This is also Bowie's, like, I think Bowie's first great album too. Like he had great albums after this. Like you have like the Berlin period and all that, where like he makes like different kinds of music. But like this is his first like solid. Like I see this as an artistic vision, and I'm Ziggy Stardust, and it gets all that together. Also, like we said, it's like proggy in the nature of the storyline and that, but separately, all these songs are like pretty great pop songs. 5 Years is a little proggy, the album opener, but like Starman, classic hit. Soul Love, you know, amazing.
Did you happen, like, when you listen to Starman? I don't know about you, but like
I mean, I Dewey Cox every time.
Yeah, every
I think
time.
Because we love the Dewey Cox movie in these households, and every time I think of it, it's just
there's
like
a starman waiting in the sky. It's just so funny,
right?
But yeah, I mean the whole thing of it, and there's like some really good live footage. I'll try to pepper in links to some of the live stuff, but it's just it translated well in a live setting too, which I thought was pretty cool. Not that there's a bunch of live songs. I think Starman, I saw it live. Moon Age Daydream.
He did like a live concert that came out, I think in the early '80s, but
there was one that's footage from '73.
Yeah, I think it's like the last
handful of videos.
It's the last. There's a full movie of the Ziggy Stardust like tour and concert or whatever. But I think it was released in like the later or early '80s.
Yeah, and it's like what's so cool about that live stuff too is that, man, Mick Ronson, just a monster guitar player. It's like I was talking to you before we started. It's like Brian May meets Jimmy Page because he does that like major scaley stuff that Brian May would do, but he's using the Les Paul through like the Marshall stack, so it's like Jimmy Page's tone playing Brian May. It's not that really sometimes I think in the album it has that like midsy like on the nose tone,
Right.
like it just sits right here. But it's so good. And Trevor Bolder too on bass guitar. There were moments when I was watching that live stuff, man, where like his bass guitar was playing, and I was just like, this guy's like Geezer Butler. Like he's doing like a Geezer Butler style way of bass playing.
He's like thumping his way through it.
He's like thumping. He's like blues scale style thumping his way through it. But he does the movements and all of that stuff that the songs ask for too, like to be a contributor on the bass. But when there's parts where things like open up a little bit and there's kind of room for explorations in a live setting, man, just, I mean, incredible. And then David Bowie just strumming on an acoustic guitar through the whole thing.
Like really chunking it out.
Yeah, man.
And
just such an impressive record.
It is. And it's February 72. This is like probably like the height, the big, like what the bigger glam records to even ever be released. Like in Mick Ronson to David Bowie is like the ultimate like glam guitar hero. Like, you know what I mean? You can't get like a better 1-2 punch in the duo. It's like Iggy and I'm not gonna be able to think of his name now. The second guitar player from the Stooges, like tried to like almost emulate what Mick Ronson and Bowie had, but like it's that Mick Ronson's guitar playing is like the band is so to Mick Ronson. Like Bowie's records don't sound like this later. Because it's like it's the band. It's that whole vibe of it. Like later on, he would still make rock music, but it's not. It's never in this kind of style again. I also want to shout out like the wonderful saxophone playing that David Bowie plays on Soul Love, which is really cool.
I did not realize that was David Bowie playing that. That's right. It's right here.
Yeah, David Bowie plays the saxophone on that,
shit.
which is really cool. It also shows that like he's just a different artist. Like he was a different artist. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was gonna morph and change. He's, you know.
But what's so cool about this album too that I found was like, yes, it is. You know, it's futuristic and it's this sort of like post-digital age-ish-y kind of, but it's like 70s futuristic and all that stuff. But at the heart of it, I'm sitting there and I'm watching, I'm like listening and watching these videos, and I'm like, this guy to me seems like a space age alien Elvis. Because like at the heart of all of these songs are the like the classic like blues and rock and roll rhythms.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's a song in 6/8. There's points where it's like shuffly. There's points where it's like slidey, bluesy, guitar-y. But there's this,
like space dust.
There's space dust sprinkled all over it, and it just makes for such. It's cocaine. It's cocaine.
Not yet. That comes later.
Yeah, that comes later.
The White Duke phase.
Oh man, yeah, cocaine's a hell of a drug. But you know what I'm saying, though? It's like there's a lot of this that's like really traditional, like blues and rock and roll.
It's
like
bringing
Chuck
your
Berry,
own personality into it.
Right.
It's like, and that's why Bowie is Bowie.
That's what I love about it, though.
Right. And it's like we're listening like right now in our headphones to "It Ain't Easy," and like what really is great about a ton of these songs is they have amazing choruses. And like he's singing, I said this to Mike yesterday about Moon Age Daydream. The chorus to that is "Put your electric eye on me, babe. Put your ray gun to my head, freak out in a moon age daydream." I said to Mike, I was like, nothing so silly has ever been sung so seriously. And that's like the other fun part about this record. It's like he's singing all these like crazy things about ray guns, and he's like, ray gun to my head. Like,
yeah, but
really,
you buy in though. That's the
you
thing.
buy into it. Like it really is life or death, and like the imagery of like staring at the grave, and like you see like someone coming to like gun you down, like all that stuff. It's really cool. And even like you know, on Ziggy Stardust, where like he's like, and he crushed his sweetheart, you know, like that stuff where he's like, I love that. It's really cool, the guitar riff on that as well.
Oh my god, the guitar. Listen, for guitar heads out there, if you're not listening to this, you are really, really, really missing out. For me, listening to him play guitar, Mick Ronson, it was like the first like the way that I experienced it was like the first time I was like, oh, Peter Green, somebody. Oh, Mike Bloomfield, somebody. You know, it's that where I'm just like, oh, this is another dude that was in that time period and of that era who was doing his, you know, he's like a guitar guy. You know, I would consider him like up there.
Like the next guitar hero in all those lineups. Like, you know what I mean? You had all those guys, and then you had this dude that would come out, and he like is more like just simplistic in his songs. You know what I mean? Like there's no like psychedelic jamming on here kind of guitar playing.
Yeah.
It's just great, effing guitar playing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And I was telling you off mic before we started that check out the live video. I promise I will link that live video because everybody is pretty clearly under the influence of psychedelic drugs at this concert. And there's one moment where Mick Ronson just keeps doing this like and just keeps doing it over and over and over again. And there's a girl clearly in the crowd like, make it stop, and it's just like, oh my god. But it's
a couple hours later.
Yeah. So anyway, definitely check that out. But yes,
I also just wanted to shout out
happy
to
50 years.
Happy 50 years. I wanted to shout out to Hang On to Yourself.
Yes. Oh yeah. Let's talk about songs.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about some more songs in here. The single "Suffragette City," the "Wham Bam, Thank You Ma'am" line. Like he also has like this great like way of like turning phrases into he was the Nas with God-given hands. Like the Nas, what is the Nas? The Nas is a song from the Yardbirds album. The Nas are Blue. The Nas, the band, who got their name from the Nas are Blue, and then the other reference is Bowie's. He was the Nas with God-given hands.
Oh.
Like he has these great like phrases through this whole album where you're just like, what does that mean? Or like where he's playing guitar, you're hanging with the spiders from Mars, like that, like where he's just like shouting out the band, the fictional band in the song is playing, like, even that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I love Rock and Roll Suicide.
I was gonna say closing track. How do you like this for a closing? Because I love this as a closing track.
Even the phrase.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like the whole Suffragette City. Like I just love the whole idea. The whole album is great. Imagery.
It's a good one to listen to front to back.
Oh my god, it's great.
Now that I've heard this full through, I'm like, this is you listen to this like you listen to Dark Side.
Yeah,
you start on track 1 and you just do the whole thing in one shot.
Even the great ballad that starts off side 2, Lady Stardust. Up all night, really was paradise.
Yeah, man.
It's just so good, man. And this is like it brings like Bowie's great art rocky piano early stuff that's on like Hunky Dory, and it just like completely. It's solid, great record. You could tell how much I really like it. And 2, I also want to note that I was not like a big Bowie fan until like probably like 2 years ago. Because my girl's a big Bowie fan, and she was like, "You should listen to it. It's really, really good." Like, I was like, "All right." And we play. I fell in love with it. It was instant. Like I did not know what I was missing. So
that's exactly how I felt. Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing plays through great. There's like I cited Brian May, but there's like Queen style moments. There's the beginning of Moon Age Daydream. He comes in sounding a lot like who's the lead singer for Grand Funk Railroad?
Is it Mark Farner?
Is it?
I think so.
But I'm saying, listen, like I'm playing it right now.
Yeah.
Like to me, it's like a Grand Funky style intro. Anyway, just little things that I happened to pick up along the way, but. Yeah, just.
Mike didn't know what he was missing.
I did not. This.
It blew his mind. I could tell it blew his mind because he was like, "Dude, Bowie," and I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "I think this is a classic album." I was like, "Yeah, no shit, man."
It might be a perfect. It might be a perfect.
It
album.
is a perfect album.
Yeah,
it
clearly
is.
Album,
a lot of people agree.
So there you go. Happy 50th year anniversary to David Bowie. Also, rest in peace to David Bowie. He passed away 2
Why do you always
gotta
be the bummer? We didn't have to.
I was just gonna say rest in peace. Just our condolences to the Bowie estate.
Bowie lives on in our hearts.
He does indeed, yes. Well, you can't die if you're...
you can't die when you're jiving with them spiders from Mars,
man,
bro.
The spiders from Mars. He just went back to Mars. So, again, let's take a quick break. Before this gets too far off the rails, we will be right back. All right, everyone, welcome back.
To Get in the Garage, we're the music podcast.
For music lovers.
I got it right this time, guys.
Yes, sir. So we're going to kick off the second half with... what we've kind of been doing a lot lately, which is we're going to review 2 recent albums, probably within the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, these came out like I think each like 2 weeks ago from now, and when this episode comes out, it's probably gonna be like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But like it's still, very new music, and we have a release from a brand new artist, so it's gonna be very exciting. And these are artists that the first artist we're gonna talk about, I was aware of. On some level, I guess, but did not really ever get on the radar. So I got on the radar now. I listened to this record. And, Michael, what are we going to be talking about right now?
Yeah, so Angel Olson is the name of the artist. The name of the album is Big Time. It is her sixth. They actually
Sixth?
I think they say sixth in like the UK. They don't say sixth. They say sixth.
Well,
Anyway,
take them to the hospital.
Sixth studio album, clocking in at 48 minutes and 38 seconds. I'm sorry. Released June 3rd, 2022. It is the album Big Time
On Jaguar Records.
on Jaguar Records. And I have to say that this is another album. It was a good week for music listening for me.
Me too.
Because I feel like every album I listened to, I really, really enjoyed. This one, initially, I was a little apprehensive. I'm not going to lie.
I was like, I did not want to listen to this album again.
Yeah.
We've been like, we're trying to bring you new music and stuff we want to listen to. And this is breaking me and Mike down and making us, I feel like, more, better. I feel like I have better ears than I did last year, and
For sure.
and all this new music. But definitely, this is something I was like not attuned to. This is a record I wouldn't have like sought out on my own,
Right. I feel like unless
unless we were doing this podcast.
well, yeah, I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have gone out of my way to try to listen to this
Now
record.
that I've listened to it, I've been talking about it nonstop. I can't stop
great album.
telling people about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I listened to this really cool album. It is accompanied with a half-hour movie, which is on YouTube.
Yes, definitely worth a watch as well. I'll try to link that.
Yep. Yeah, we'll be able to link it. It's
Yep.
going to be Big Time. It's the name of it. The same name as the album. So I checked that out. And it accompanied. I listened to the record first.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's cool. It kind of gave me like the Wilco vibes that we had talked about a couple weeks ago or last week, and that was good.
Yeah.
But it's on the surface a country, alt country affair.
Yeah.
Very like mellow and laid back. I listened to it 2 times before I watched the movie, and then I listened to it like 5 more times after that.
Yeah.
After I watched the movie, the first time I listened to it, I dug it was alt country ish and had like a little taste of this, a little taste of that.
Yep.
And I was kind of just picking up on that, and then more in on the second listen. I got more into like how she was singing. I'm wearing a Mazzy Star shirt. I think she kind of has like a little bit of like a stylized voice in that. Not that the songs are similar on any nature.
No. But the
like,
tone out. She has that like really warm like alto.
Maybe mixed with like a Zooey Deschanel. And she's been making records like in the same time period as like that. But like I'm just in the same kind of like a reference point if you reference those two people. But the content of the song. So the album is about what was going on in her life. So she came out as I think queer, I want to say. If I'm representing that wrong, I apologize.
Yeah.
But she came out as queer to her parents who were elderly. She was adopted. They adopted her after they had retired, so at an old age themselves.
Yep.
And they passed away, like, I think 5 months after she came out to them.
Yeah, I think it was her father passed away, and then
Her
like
mother.
within a year, her mother passed away. Yeah.
Right, and the movie does highlight that as well.
Yes, it does.
And it deals with the nature of that, and then also the nature of her first like serious queer relationship.
Yeah.
Where she had like a breakup and like had never dealt with that in those contexts before. Yeah. And if you are listening to this album on the surface, I'm gonna say almost maybe none of that kind of comes. Some of that comes through. But it's not like
if
overt.
Right.
It's not overt at all in those natures.
Yeah.
Like,
but the movie gives context, and with that context, it gives this whole other sort of like dynamic to the actual album itself. I watched the movie and then I listened to the album. I think it's like I listened to it a couple times and I liked it, and then I watched the movie and I listened to it again and I loved it.
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
I liked the album. I watched the accompanying movie, which I think is only 3 songs from the album.
Yeah, I think so.
It was either 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I think it might be 4.
But it's no more than 4 if it is 4.
But the movie just it was like when I listened to the album the first time, I was kind of searching for some kind of context in it because this was a new artist for me.
Yeah.
And then that's why this movie is so great to accompany this album, because as like a new person, I get and this is like a new identity for her in the public light, in her personal life.
She was saying that story that you had sent me from that interview.
Yeah.
She told the interviewer, I apologize. Well, it felt like she was speaking to me. That so when her mother passed away, she basically came out to her entire family at her mother's funeral.
Yeah.
Which is like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And
we can, we're going to link that article too. So you can read that. It was a great accompanying piece.
It's a great. And if I apologize if I'm misremembering, but it didn't seem like it was a bad experience.
But it was
very much just like you had that
like,
one uncle that was like, I work with a gay dude. Like it was something like that.
She said, I believe the universe forced her hand in the matter, kind of, because she like came out to her mom, and then like it, you know what I mean, and then it came to the public, and then the album, and then you know what I mean.
But I absolutely love this album after watching that. It just gave so much context and so much like.
Me too. I was starting to dig, some of the songs surface level. Big Time is just like the title track of the record. The second song is a really great, like, sweet love song. It's Good Morning Kisses, I'm Giving You All Mine, Open the Curtains, Letting the Sunshine is like the opening words.
Yeah.
Close to it, if that's not exactly it. But it's like the sweetness of it, like, because like being vulnerable and like doing a breakup song kind of thing is one thing, but showing your tenderness for somebody else in like this light is really nice to like hear. Like this kind of,
it's a very sincere album.
Yeah, it is very sincere, and it's not like it doesn't feel like hurtful towards anybody. It just feels like, you know what I mean, like there's none of that like you did me wrong kind of thing, really. It's more of like just like a sweet understanding of people and the situations that happened to her.
Yeah.
Right?
It's because
it doesn't feel judgmental.
It's like she experienced like love and loss at the same time.
Yes.
So that's such an incredible sort of
in so many different ways
human thing, in a couple different ways of each thing.
Right.
But it's like, you know what, like a new love is such a like a joyful experience, but then to have that sort of like dynamic and not telling your parents yet, and then your father dies, and then you're like, oh, I have to tell my mother, and then like, her mother dies, and it's just like,
and then like I don't know if I think it was her mom that would like say like the love you big time thing, and like and then like or was that either her and her partner, and like the chorus of the song is like love you big time, I'm loving you more, and it's like that like affirmation like when you're getting off the phone with somebody, and it's like, she said in the movie how like that can like annoy you, but like when you don't have, you know what I mean, it's like that's the shit that gets you.
I think it was that like she said that her mother would it was something like saying love you more.
Yeah.
Her mom wouldn't hang up the phone until she got her to say love you more.
And like putting that in the movie and giving it context to the thing, it's really putting yourself out there in a big way. Like, and the songwriting on here, it's I would say if this album is anything, it's subtle. It creeps into you. I really love this album now that I've listened to it. Like,
I'll say this: if I had a criticism, and we're nitpicking here because that's just what we do. If I had a criticism in the very beginning of when I started listening to this, I was kind of like, well, kind of all, you go in with a critical thing, and you're like, well, all the songs kind of blend together and all that. But then it's like, once you get the context and you understand the music and you understand the person and all of that, I was like, no, I was just listening to this album wrong.
Exactly.
I was just listening to this album wrong. Once I knew how to listen to this album with all of the context, that's when it like clicked. And I was like, well, that was a wrong criticism. You know what I mean?
That's exactly how I felt. Like I long drawn out said that, but that's how I felt exactly. Like,
because I remember when we were like right around first listen time, you and I, it was a couple nights ago, we were talking about it for a hot second, and even you were like, I don't know, I'm unsure in terms of like how we feel, and we're living proof. 2 days later, it's like, I fucking love this album. It's, excuse my language, but I love this album so much.
Me too. And I found like the songs like All the Flowers is it's one of the softest songs in the record. It's like an acoustic like ballad. And like songs like that are just I love her singing, her voice, the phrasing. This has like an old school like Elvis ballad love thing, like Righteous Brothers feel, but it's like soft and tender folk. But she like gets up there and like yeah, and she's like talking about like how, you know, she wants to find someone that like loves her, and like it's that.
You know what it is? There's that sort of like, we've talked about it before with certain types of songs or songs, albums, etc. There's like an unfulfilled longing, but there's like this sweetness about it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like this.
I feel like
I don't know.
the more you put yourself into your art and the more it reflects who you truly are and is more of the truth, the more it shines through. And like where this acoustic ballad might like really flop for somebody else, she's putting so much of herself personality wise in the whole record. It comes through and like it really works well with the other songs.
And I think the album works well too, because it works well on two places. Like you can put this record on and have it sort of be kind of like, I don't want to say background music, but you know what I'm trying to say. Because it's nothing. This
record will play in a coffee house, and you'll
sleep on it. You won't even know. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like it connects on two levels. You can play this as a background.
It's subtle.
Yeah,
it's the greatness
sneaky,
of it is
sneaky.
it's sneaky. It's subtle.
Yeah,
because you'll listen to it and then you're like,
wait a minute, what is she saying?
Right, like I had times where like I was listening to it in headphones and like my girl's walking by and like when she's singing like this song is on and you're like looking and it's just like so beautiful and cinematic, like what you're just looking at in your life. You're like, wow, and like, that's where it sneaks up on you very subtly.
Yeah. No, you're right, because it definitely has that, like, I think I said about the Doors before, when I listen to the Doors, it's almost kind of like a Doors lens goes in front of my eyes.
Yes.
This is the same thing, where you just kind of like, you can listen to this music on like a drive, and you're kind of like just appreciate, like, you know what I mean? It just makes you appreciate the whole melodrama of life and like everything we go through and all your life experience. You know, it's one of those.
Right, exactly. No, that's very well said.
But you can drink a flat white at a cafe listening to it too, and you're just like, oh, this is a nice song.
Yeah.
You know, it can do both.
To the other point of like the structure of the songs as well, I said it has like an alt country tinge to like the whole thing. It's kind of like a crooner doing alt country, and it also has this vibe on top of all of that of like cinematic classic Hollywood string, but it's not goopy strings. It's like beautiful, like well placed. It feels cinematic. It moves the music in like a cinematic kind of way where you feel it moving emotionally, and the music is driving emotionally, where maybe her voice is like softer and then like the strings are going up and then she'll
all these
like
thematic
and she like builds
cinematic elements.
A lot of the songs build on the record as well. Right Now is the one, that's what I just wanted to hear the beginning of it. Right Now is the one, it builds really softly, and then at the end of it it builds almost into like this Pink Floyd like
psychedelic-y thing.
That's another great thing about this record too, is a lot of like psychedelic elements that are like toned down, but like it's psychedelic in the way that like Alice in Wonderland is psychedelic, but you can play it for kids. It's like that kind of it's got that kind of nature to it. You know what I mean? And even the movie
it's like psych light.
Yes, even the movie that accompanies the album is very psychedelic in its kind of nature.
There's like time travel kind of elements to it. There's this kind of there's a point
even
where she
walking
sees herself
through the garden.
Yeah, like all that kind of stuff. Yeah, the magic lighting box, like the whole thing. So,
and it just has a lot of that cinematic nature to it. I also wanted to shout out "Through the Fires," which is featured in the video as being a standout track. It just floored me the way the melody rolled with the music. It was super interesting, very emotional, and I feel like it's the 1-2 punch with the album closer, "Chasing the Sun," which is another. He's playing "Through the Fire" right now. It is just the way it starts off and builds, and just like the melody is one of my favorites on the whole record. It's beautiful. And it molds into "Chasing the Sun," which is a piano ballad that like cuts deep. It has those strings I was referencing earlier.
But that's
placed very well. It reminds me of the last track on the Snail Mail record that we reviewed last fall, Snail Mail's Valentine.
Yeah.
That record is a more pop punk version of this. And like this record is like the mature, like, so it's just very mature. It's very,
I'll tell you what, man. I really enjoyed bouncing back and forth between this and the Ziggy Stardust album. I felt like those two, because they're both albums that, like, when you listen to it in full, they both have that last track quality, which is just like you can picture like the curtains closing after the last song plays. Like, it's got that thing about it. There's like, because there's all these sorts of thematic, like we said, but yeah, I loved A being this and David Bowie, because it was just so like, oh my god, like different things, but they paired very. It's like, like, what kind of wine are you drinking with your steak or whatever,
favorite thing before we kind of wrap this up about this record was it was hard for me to pin her down to a you're doing this kind of thing, because I wanted to to be like, you're this kind of artist, that kind of artist. Clearly, like her other records have a different kind of sound, different kind of feel, and she keeps like evolving into this thing. This record feels so truthful. It feels really subtly beautiful.
I think it's a very high, to use your term, a very high like watermark, right? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Of just alt country in general, because you have people doing, like we talked, Orville Peck is somebody who like might fall into this kind of a thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, where it's kind of like
even Wilco is the alt country,
Sure, yeah, right.
So, but like this is like it's got the tinges of that. It's got the pedal steel and a lot of the stuff.
Right.
But it also like it just goes for like maybe like a country tinged vocal. You know what I mean, or the way and it has like a lot to do with crooning more than it does like singing a country song. So it's got a lot of elements working for it.
So definitely worth a listen. Give it a listen. Angel Olson, big time.
What's the rating, Mike? What are you giving it?
I mean, I'm like high 8s, low 9s.
I'm at 8. I'm a solid 8.
Yeah,
I'm a solid 8.
Yeah. I was gonna say 8, like 8.5, maybe 8.5.
I'm a solid 8 because I think all the songs in here are really well written. And really well done. It's just, for me, some of the stuff like this is my like nitpick at the end here. Is it Ghost On? Like Ghost On has like this kind of longer section at the end that like it doesn't have a vocal, and for me, I'm not as like interested because like I feel like the vocal is the strong point in the album. All the way through. So like things like that.
Yeah, like a cool sax solo or a cool guitar solo would have been cool there.
Something like that. I did like Go Home and This Is How It Works. But like, sometimes like those got like a little more blended. The standout tracks definitely on this record are Big Time, Right Now, All the Flowers, Through the Fires, and Chasing the Sun. I feel like those songs are ridiculously strong. The rest of the record flows beautifully all the way through. It's solid 8.
Solid 8. Cool. 8.5. So there you have it. You're getting the garage review.
Yes. If you are unfamiliar with this artist, I just start here with this album. See if this is like you dig it. Give it a chance.
Give it a couple listens, man. Give it a couple listens. It's a slow burner, but when it gets you, it gets you.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's a sweet record. Very sweet.
Right on. So
let's talk about something noisy, dude.
Yes, let's get noisy. Let's get a little rowdy here. So, Luke, why don't you tell us?
Yeah, this is a brand new band. We're going to be talking about Horsegirl. They are from Chicago. They are vocalist guitarist Penelope Lowenstein, and Nora Chang, both 18, and drummer Gigi Rice, who is 19 years old. They are a 3-piece. They just released their brand new album.
For, I think, debut.
Yes.
This is debut album.
Which has a long name. Versions of Modern Performance.
And it is, talk about all killer, no filler.
Yes, this is a great record.
33 minutes long. That's like
33 minutes long on Matador Records. So check out that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Mike is right. This is a compact little record. A beautiful first release from a young band. out of Chicago.
Yep.
I fell in love with this record instantly. First of all, let's talk about the name for a second before we really get in there. Horsegirl. I don't know what the reference means, but to me, you pictured the girl in your class that you went to school with that was drawing horses all day, running around like a horse in the playground.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like the equestrian, like a girl who like, because horse people. You have horse people.
Yeah, and there's like that girl that might be like into horses that like goes to like the horse, and you're just like, oh, that girl's into horses.
Horse girl.
So that's what it brings to my head, which is like, I don't know why. Great band name, I love it. These girls play what I would say is Sonic Youth, children of the Nirvana revolution.
Sure.
It's noisy, it's youthful.
Yeah.
It's got a lot to do with Sonic Youth.
Yeah, I think I saw a thing that was talking about how Sonic Youth and television.
Oh yeah, they named like television as like a reference that they like as a band.
Yeah, not that I'm not familiar with television, but
television.
I would assume it's
arty, but like it's for me, it's the buzzing of the Daydream Nation era Sonic Youth guitars, like done in a new indie rock style. Where like these guys are like taking even that like they have like the Kim Gordon kind of like singing too. Yeah. But what's great is they sing double tracked like on each other. So like they sing the same vocal line. They are not really harmonizing. And it's almost hard to realize that two people are even singing at the same time until they break, and then one of them will sing another line, and while one of them will maybe keep singing the same line that's going on.
Yep.
The album opener, Anti-Glory, does this great. It also kind of has that like Sleater Kinney kind of style thing in there, and it's got that great like middle section where they're like dance, because like the song is like a garage rock, like indie anthem. And in the middle of it, they're like telling you to dance, and it's just the sludgiest guitars you've ever heard. The chorus is great too. The chorus is like like all the singing is kind of like mumbly a little bit, right?
It's I would categorize it as they're altos clearly, so they have a lower register voice, but it's a whole lot of like talking on pitch.
And they're like double tracked in what they're doing.
But it's cool. It's like it fits so nicely.
Completely opposite from the last record, where they're very like ambiguous of what's going on. Where the last record was like, "I love you," like open the windows.
Oh, so is this not their debut, or was that just like an EP?
Oh, I think those are the singles from the record.
Okay.
And then the EP on Spotify. But this is their first full length release anyway. Yep. But what were we just getting into? You got me off track. Oh, where the last lyrics were like very like to the like what they were like very like kind of forward facing and like looking at the past and the present in a kind of way. These lyrics are very fun and ambiguous. Where like I think these people aren't really as willing to let themselves on the song as much, but like the vibe that they're giving off in the noisy guitars and like the softness, this quiet, loud Pixies thing, Nirvana thing, is like gives it like texture to maybe like what they're singing about anyway. Like the chorus to like Anti-Glory is like talking about like the town, like to the front and the back, where it's fun and the town and the all that stuff, and you're like, what is going on? It's kind of like sing-songy. And it's great. I mean, it's just like an anthem of like, what is this? But it's like very spirited, and you like, it feels rebellious, and you don't know why.
Yeah, I really like. I just appreciate them as a band because they're younger people, and they wanted to like get involved in the music scene, but they're younger, so they couldn't play in bars. So it's like that kind of like, if you build it, they will come, and they basically did, man. Like they kind of like help curate this music scene for like 18, 19, and 20-year-olds, like bands that can't play in bars yet, so
house shows.
Yeah, so they're like,
that's how like another band that I like, Twin Peaks out of Chicago, also started when they were young, about the same age, about 10 years earlier. Which is,
Yeah, it was reading the story of it was very reminiscent of like when we were younger and we actually used to have a scene around here. It was like the younger people whose bands couldn't play in bars. So that's, you'd go to a show and you'd see just kind of like a little bit of everything, and
the thing
but
is
it was
about
mostly like punk, hardcore, metalcore. That was kind of what was in.
the thing about this record though
ours.
is it's really, really good. It
Yeah.
takes like all the elements of those bands we were saying and kind of puts it into this like quick bubblegum, like
Yeah.
great, like the songs come at you fast. The Sonic Youth influence definitely comes in on Live the Ski, the third song in the album, where it's a guitar noise piece, and it does those. Is this Live the Ski? I'm sorry, it's Bog 1 is
Bog. Oh yes, here we
is
go.
the name of the first guitar noise track on the record. So sorry about that, but
Yeah.
this is where the Sonic Youth comes in strong because it has noise pieces, guitar noise pieces.
Yeah.
So you're taking an indie band that does like verse chorus kind of things with droney guitars anyway, and then they're adding the element of noise tracks on top of it. But the great thing about this is, like I said, like, oh, Sonic Youth noise, it turns a lot of people off. These noise tracks are more of like
They're
textures
they're
that
like
build
instrumental interludes.
that build into the next song, and they don't go on for 5 minutes a piece or like 4 minutes a piece, like a Sonic Youth piece might.
That's what I liked about this, when it was like, oh, you're giving me some noise, you're giving me some psych elements, you're giving me some experimentation, but all killer, no filler. Don't drag it on for 4 minutes.
Yeah,
we don't
like
need to hear a Moog solo for 3 minutes. I mean,
the
people already
first-
did it. We don't need that again.
Right, the first guitar track is only a minute and 51 seconds long, so it's like a
Bog
nice
1.
texture piece until it goes into the next song.
But I mean, the longest song on this album is 3 minutes and 48 seconds long. That's the longest song.
Right.
You know what I mean? Half of them are around the 2.5 minute mark. You got a couple that are around the 3 minute mark, 3:33. That's pretty much it. But it's just such an accessible record. That's what I like about it. It's easy to listen to, and it is effective, and it fucking rocks.
It's a great guitar record.
Yeah, great guitar record.
The droney guitars has like everything great about, like, obviously we said it already. But it's got even like Dinosaur Junior-y.
Sure, yeah.
It's just like it's droney. All of the riffs are pretty droney.
Yeah, because the way the vocals are delivered makes it more true, like.
Yeah, like sing-songy and like what's the name of the song that's playing right now? The song's kind of got like silly
Dirtbag
names.
Transformation.
Yeah, Dirtbag Transformation.
Still dirty.
Still dirty. This has like that sing-songy chorus. And even on this song too, where I was like saying like the lyrics aren't really as effacing. This is a lyric I wanted to bring up. Like the Stigler sticks his nose into his spine. Like it's kind of talking about maybe like a sensitive, tender moment. And like she wants the TV on tonight, like all that. It like is giving you a vibe of like a room and like a bed and like somebody's there with somebody else, but it's not specifically saying what's happening. Like that's like a lot of like how a lot of the songwriting is on here, and I really like that because it kind of lets you, instead of being so like this is this and that might be that, it lets you really
open
like
for interpretation.
Yes, it really lets you put like a spin on whatever you want it to be about, which is a lot of fun. With like a record, there's all records I think that we have that we do that with, that we feel are like more apt to like put your own thing on, and that's like your own personal thing. But this record's really open to that because the lyrics are more in that vague style. I want to shout out homage to Bird Noculars. A tune on here that I really, really love, where like the main lyric is I think this is the name of the song. Yep. Is step into my wormhole. And I really like that. It's got like a little verse
guitar
thing.
riff too.
The guitar riff is gorgeous.
They're soaked in like it sounds like either reverb or some sort of delay.
Yeah, it's just all the riffs are like really cool. They have that like great like beginner but like playing for a couple years guitar sound, which is like I love so much because it's like it's just so expressive in what you're doing, and it's in the pop nature of how they wrote the songs mixed with the overtly like art rock drone guitars that are playing is the yin yang of the album. That's why it works. So it's like you're taking all like the great noisy elements and you're mixing it in like a Beatles 3-minute kind of song. So everything's great. Everything's pocketed in there. This is a wonderful indie release.
I'm trying to find the song. There's one song that's kind of Ramonesy that does like the dan 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 dan.
Oh, is it?
I can't remember. I should have written it down. I'm a doofus.
Is
I'm
it the
sorry,
World
guys.
of Pots and Pans?
Yeah. Oh, it may be. I think so. But
This is this one even has a great like Ramonesy kind of thing in the beginning. You know what I mean? The whole
Yeah.
thing is like
this isn't the one though. I
it's
can't
it's
remember.
born out of that as well. It's got even like the
Yeah, it's got this punky kind of like attitude about it too, you know, but it's subtle.
yeah,
But it's there.
and it's also got like the because like this one's like Emma like singing about Emma was her friend, and you know you might have lost that person, and then the last song is like Billy is like who's Billy, and it like describes like you know like the whole thing, and it's just like a vibey song about like a dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's got like that kind of thing. You're like, oh, it's Billy, you know?
Yeah.
And it's
oh,
got
that Billy.
yeah, and it's like a
Yeah.
vibey song about it, and like everything's kind of like, you know, a
Yeah.
good drony vibe, but
Yeah.
like also great pop verses and choruses. So
Yeah.
you know,
So overall, what do you score it then?
I think this record is a really good record.
Yeah.
In the genre it is. It's as a guitar record. I don't know if I'm gonna like a guitar record as much as I like this record this
Yeah.
year. I've listened to it a ton of times already. I'm a solid give it what I gave the last record an 8. I
Yeah.
think this band has room to grow and write better songs and make like perfect records, but
Yeah.
this is like an 8. It's so good. It's so catchy. None of the songs stay around longer than they should.
Yeah.
If you love the guitar, if you love noisy guitars, if you love, you know, any of that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
check it out. Stooges, that, you know, and
Yeah.
anything like that. This is
I'll meet you there.
great.
I'll meet you there. I'll say 8 too. I think it's just super effective. I'm a debut album guy. Most of the time, debut albums are like my favorite albums when it comes to bands. And this is one where I feel like
And you saying that too now, the debut album thing is like this is like a sound from like you know, a female band that like I think we really haven't heard before.
yeah.
Which is what makes it so interesting.
Yeah.
It's just like it's you know
And
it's like these are the you know the the children of Kim Gordon. It's like
Yeah.
it's got like Riot Girl, but it's not Riot Girl at all
yeah.
because it's not, you know what I mean? It's not facing that way.
You know what the thing is too that I was thinking about, and I was like, oh yeah, that too. They're a power trio, man.
Yes, you got to Feel the Noise.
Power trio.
Also, we didn't really say too. Sometimes they're playing a bass, sometimes a baritone.
Oh yeah. Oh, what's that
baritone
called? It's the one
guitar?
Jack Bruce used to play it every once in a while too. It's like
a-
that Fender.
It's the Fender baritone. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I
but
can't
it's-
remember. I
it's
think
like
it's got
a
a
Jag
specific
style
name.
baritone guitar.
Yeah.
So like it's got like a lot of that too. Like the low end might be like a little bit more hazy because of that.
Yeah.
I just really love this
But
record.
I love the bass playing that's all over this, whether it's bass playing or it's on that thing.
Right.
Because even the is it Anti Glory, the bow now
Yeah.
like you can hear the bass boom 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 boom
Yeah,
boom,
thumping.
boom, 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 like thumping. So it's like
yeah,
it's really really good. It's
yeah.
very,
I
very
would
good. And it's
also
33 minutes long too. It's totally just digestible and an easy album to just kind of like throw on and be like, it's 33 minutes. You're not in for an hour and a half long prog metal album. You know what I mean? It's 33 minutes.
If you like Nirvana, if you love Nirvana's first record, this has like a lot to do with
Yeah.
that as well.
Right, yeah.
That was another one I didn't really shout out, but yeah, Nirvana's first record
Bleach.
sounds, you know, it's
Yeah.
got like, you know, this is like the cousin of that. It's
Yeah.
I love this record.
Yeah.
Can't recommend it enough. That's Horsegirl's Versions of Modern Performance. It is out now on Matador Records.
Yeah, and listening to it, I will say, going back and forth between Big Time and Bowie, this is like the perfect palate cleanser. Perfect palate cleanser because it's just kind of like something completely different.
It's modern.
It's
new.
modern. It's new. It feels new.
It rocks.
feels exciting. It feels like it's got that special thing in the air
Yes,
about it. You know what I mean?
They feel special.
Yeah, they feel special.
They're
Yeah.
giving you like you said, the debut. They're giving you the version of yourself like you've never seen this before. This is like
Yeah.
a new thing.
Yeah.
So
And it's versions of modern performance. I mean, what a great album. You know.
yeah, and like we were saying, we were having a hard time like naming the songs on this record because they're all like Bog 1, Dirtbag Transformation, The Fall of Horsegirl, which is a great song.
Yeah, it's a good song.
The Guitar is Dead 3, World of Pots and Pans,
My
Homage to Birdnoculars.
My favorite one, Electrolocation.
Electrolocation 2.
2, yeah. Where's 1? Who knows?
So is that one of the noise songs? Even?
Yeah, I think so. It's it's like a minute and 57 seconds long.
Yeah.
But yeah,
please check out this
It
record.
plays through so great too. That's I mean, this album is cool because it has a couple songs that I guess you would consider like singles type songs, but just like the other 2 albums I listened to this week, man, I listened to this thing straight through every time I listened to it because it was just like it just plays. It's just so nice to listen to. It's such a
when I put this on for the first time, I loved it instantly. Mm-hmm. I did not have to think about whether I like this or not. So this
because they get
instant love from me.
They get you on track 1. That's it. It's got great album opener.
Yes.
Great album opener. Sets the tone, sets the mood, and all that stuff. You trust them, so then you go the rest of the way with them.
Well said.
You know what I'm saying?
Can't say better myself.
So there you have it. Versions of Modern Performance from the band Horsegirl. Real quick, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and all that stuff. Awaken the primordial algorithm. As
Tell your
we
friends.
Always ask you to do. Share too. We've gotten some shares. We've had some cool comments and stuff too here and there. So
yeah, if you
we appreciate it, guys.
If you watch the show, you have something to say. We will we respond from the comments on YouTube.
Yeah. Ask for we'll shout you out.
Yeah, if you ask for a shout out, we'll definitely shout you out. We read all of those. If you watch the show and you liked it, you think what we're doing is cool, please share it to your friends and tell them about it. That's all we really want you to do. So
yeah. Until next time,
I've been Luke.
I've been Mike, and this has been Get in the Garage, the music podcast. We'll see you next week.
This has been a presentation from the Wasted Robot Network. For more information and links to other shows, please visit www.wastedrobotrecords.com/podcasts.